Human immunity. The human immune system has multiple lines of defense against diseases. The first two main lines of defense allow adaptive and specific immune responses within the body. The first line of defense is to initiate immunity. The physical barrier is the skin. It prevents pathogens from entering the body. Mucus that's within the respiratory and digestive tracts acts as a trap which expels viruses. The chemical barriers such as saliva and stomach acid, which is the enzyme created in hospital environment for any pathogen to live. For example, stomach acid will help destroy the ingested microbes. Other things such as eyes produce a liquid that tears remove and any dust particles from the eye, and the eyelashes guard the eye. The second line of defense within the immune system, crucial to initiate the immune response. It offers a non-specific rapid defense against many pathogens that get past the first line of physical and chemical barriers. The key components include pathosympathetic cells, neutrophils, and macrophages. They engulf and destroy pathogens. The inflammatory response increases the blood flow that then releases the signaling molecules. The complete system which circulates the proteins and aids the pathogens and enhances the pathosynthesis. The natural killer, known as NK, play a role as the cells that identify and eliminate the abdominal infected cells. A fever creates a systematic response that allows the pathogens to grow. Interferons then contribute to the antiviral of defense and acute proteins such as C-reactive proteins, which then assist in multiple immune functions. Together eliminates form into effective and dynamic second line of defense, which allows specific responses within the immune systems. The third line of defense within the immune system, even known as acquired immunity or specific immunity, is its form is protections that's sophisticated and characterized by memory. It will recognize and respond to specific pathogens like viruses and bacteria because of the unique molecule it holds called antigens. The immunity develops within our bodies over time, which allows the immune system to learn and remember certain pathogens. It then leads to more effective and rapid response upon encounter. There are two primary types of acquired immunity. Humoral immunity has a production of its antibodies made by B cells. These are antibodies which get produced by plasma cells from the B cells. They circulate around the body fluids and bind antigens, marking or neutralizing them for destruction by other immune cells. The cellular immunity relies on active T cells. There are different types of T cells, toxic and helper T cells. They play a crucial role of directly attacking the affected cells and coordinating the immune responses within the body. The defining feature of acquired immunity is the memory. The immune system retains information for specific pathogens it encounters, enabling a quick and effective response if re-exposure were to happen. The process of acquiring the immunity is when the human body is exposed to the antigens through vaccination or natural infection. Having vaccination stimulates our immune system to generate the protective response without causing disease itself. Acquired immunity is vital to the overall health of the immune system. It offers a highly specific adaptable defense against many pathogens. Tolerance and self-recognition are basic principles of immunology, governing the immune system and discerns between the body cells and foreign substances, preventing attacks on its own tissues while developing autoimmune against diseases. Self-recognition in the immune system involves having the ability to tolerate and identify body cells and molecules. This is achieved through the recognition of unique molecular markers called self-antigens that are on the surface cells. T lymphocytes starts the process, then undergo the negative selection in the thymus while developing. T cells then react strongly against the self-antigens, which are eliminated or deactivated, which then the mature T cells can recognize the foreign antigens without attacking the body's own cells. Tolerance in immunology terms shows the immune response capability, levels to access acceptance, presence, and self-antigen, stopping the immune response turning against itself. Being a crucial part in preventing the autoimmune reactions as well as maintaining the immune balance. The central tolerance starts during the immune cell maturations in the lymphoid organs like the thymus and bone marrow. The mechanisms will tolerate of the peripheral operates outside the organs, involves T cells that will suppress potential harm immune responses. These cells present self-antigens and are capable to educate the immune system to recognize itself as a non-threatening threat. Sometimes self-recognition and tolerance mechanisms fail. The autoimmune diseases can arise when this happens. The immune system will mistakenly attack the target, the body's own cells and the tissues, which will lead to inflammation and damage. Self-recognition and tolerance is crucial for the immune system to function. It prevents incorrect responses towards its own body tissues whilst effectively fighting foreign objects. Graves' disease is an autoimmune disorder that has an impact on the thyroid. Its vital component is the endocrine system, which responds to the regulation of metabolism, which is through the thyroid hormone productions. The immune system produces a thyroid-stimulating immunoglobulins. They mimic the thyroid-stimulating hormone. The antibodies will bind the receptors in the thyroid gland, which will prompt thousands of thyroid hormones to release into the bloodstream. The result in this manifests various symptoms. This can include weight loss, increased appetite, anxiety, irritability, sweating and palpitations. A goiter and even enlargement of the thyroid gland is common, and this sometimes is linked with Graves' dermopathy, which affects the eyes symptoms like double vision and redness. The cause of this involves genetic, environmental and immunological factors. With treatment can be manageable like medications, radioactive iodine therapy and even surgical removal. The exact cause involves a complex interplay of genetic, environmental and immunological factors. Diagnosis involves blood tests and imaging studies. Treatment options include antithyroid medication, radioactive iodine therapy, and surgical thyroid removal. Managing symptoms and complications, particularly osteopathy and integratal Graves' disease management. Multiple sclerosis is classed as an autoimmune disorder. It involves the immune system attacking the body. Protective myelin that can cover nerve fibers in central nervous system. The immune system will lead to communication disruption between the brain and the body, which can result in symptoms such as difficult walking, numbness and coordination problems and fatigue. The exact cause of MS is not currently understood, and environmental factors and genetic are both believed to contribute towards the development of the disorder. Immune modulating medication are used in MS and are managed to suppress abnormal immune responses as well as reduced inflammation. Crohn's disease is classed as an immune system disorder, which is in the inflammatory bowel disease. It involves the immune system that becomes hyperactive and targets gastrointestinal tract, which causes chronic inflammation. The coordination affects the small intestine and first part of the colon. The key elements of Crohn's disease includes an activation of overpressors and the active immune system that responds to the gut bacteria. It leads to persistent inflammation and damage to the intestinal tissues. Symptoms vary from abdominal pain, weight loss, diarrhea, fatigue, and sometimes rectal bleeding. If inflammation is prolonged, it can cause complications such as strictures and fistulas and abscesses. But with the immune modulating medications like immunosuppressants, it can alleviate the inflammation and symptoms become manageable. Acquire immunity is a reference to the body's ability to remember and adapt to specific pathogens over time, providing effective defense against the infections. It can become categorized into four main types. Natural active immunity is where the is exposed to the pathogen in natural environment and they develop an immune response. The immune system will recognise and respond to the antigens from the infections. The body will memorise and store this information about the encountered pathogens, enabling a quick response upon exposure. Artificial active immunity is activated when an individual receives a vaccination that contains a weakened or inactive dose of the pathogens. The vaccine will stimulate the immune system to encourage as a response without causing disease. The body will generate memory cells which offers protections of the individual to encounter real pathogens in the future. Natural passive immunity is where the transfer of antibodies is genetically transferred from mother to baby during pregnancy, even breast milk. The maternal antibodies will provide temporary protection during the early stages of life, protecting their immune system until matured. Artificial passive immunity is when the administration of preformed antibodies is obtained from another individual or species. It is temporary but instant immunity. It's often used for emergency situations and for people who cannot produce the antibodies themselves. If someone was to be bitten by a venomous snake, they would use antivenom or immunoglobulin. Each type of immunity has been exampled as amazing advantages which contribute to the overall immune response and effectiveness against body infections. When having a vaccination, the adaptive and innate immune system will provide the protection against infectious disease that has been injected. The vaccine introduces antigens which will be recognised as a foreign cell within the body. It will prompt the immediate response with initiate immune system. Dendritic cells will present these to the antigen T cells which will initiate adaptive immunity. B cells then produce antibodies that are specific to a vaccine antigens, and T cells coordinate together as an immune response to eliminate the infected cells. Memory B cells and T cells are crucial in this process as they are generated in the body. Immunology memory ensures a long-term protection when it encounters an old pathogen. The memory cells remember and move quickly, effectively to target an immune response. Vaccinations is a way to stimulate pathogens without causing the illness. It trains the immune system to recognise certain threats within the immune system. Immunological memory is vital for efficiency of the vaccinations, prevents as well as mitigating infectious diseases. Herd immunity is where the high percentage of the population is vaccinated from a specific disease, either vaccination or prior infection. The immunity can reduce disease transmission and protect us from vulnerable people such as newborns, elderly, and those who are unwell. The disease cannot easily be passed on, and there are fewer people within the community that can become infected. It will eventually disappear without a widespread effect. Vaccination programs provide a major role in the public health. They prevent infectious disease spread, save lives, and reduce morbidity. These programs support the vaccine development with rigorous testing for efficiency and safety, widespread disruption within the healthcare facilities, public awareness campaigns that address concerns, and misinformation. Many factors can influence vaccination uptake, one of them being the hesitance in safety and concerns and mistrust, limited healthcare access, inadequate education awareness, cultural or religious beliefs, and how well the common communication and trust is within the healthcare system. Communication is vital for the success of vaccination programs. With the correct education and community engagement, these efforts contribute to achieving herd immunity, which leads to a healthier, more resilient community against diseases and viruses. Vaccination is a lifeline to the public health. It offers community and individual protection from a wide range of infectious diseases throughout the individual immunity as well as their immunity. It increases the risk of significantly in diseases. The vaccination programs are cost effective in healthcare settings. It prevents extensive medical treatments, hospitalizations, and maintains economic productivity. Globally, vaccinations have eradicated diseases like smallpox, measles, and polio, as well as controlling others. They contribute towards pandemic preparedness, especially in the development of COVID-19 vaccinations. The success and safety of vaccinations are paramount with vigorous testing and ongoing surveillance. Long-term benefits include preventing complication, overall quality life is better, making vaccinations as an essential tool within the health sector, promoting community and individual well-being.